Before beginning today's national news from Thailand, from Fabulous 103 in Pattaya, we feel duty-bound to have a quick chat with YouTubers and posters about new regulations implemented now under Thai law regarding fake news as of last night. Our news is neither moderated nor created by the state or any other organisation. Essentially, we self-moderate. Whilst our news is sourced and fact-checked daily before broadcast, and we're the only online source of news in English licensed to broadcast by the NBTC, we copy our radio news to YouTube every day. At that point, sometimes hundreds of people post comments here, and we welcome them. It not only provides a balance, but also an insight into the general opinion and feeling within the community. However, when you post or reply to comments or the news itself, you're responsible for that content. You wrote it. Sometimes in jest, sometimes in anger, and sometimes with factual content. But as the government monitors all online activity, so the new edict, which came out last night, determines that anyone posting content deemed to be either fake news or that could cause dissent and public panic is breaking the law. It's also important to remind you that we also monitor this channel. But if for any reason you think that your username on YouTube protects you from being identified, the chances are that you're wrong. Were the NBTC or the government to approach YouTube or Google and ask for your IP, email or name, the chances are they'll get them quickly. Anonymity really doesn't exist on the internet. But as a result, and with the chances of heavy fines and jail for offenders, please think carefully before posting. And also note that anyone referring in any way to the monarchy or abusing the privilege of posting here will be banned. We really hope that you'll still enjoy our news and look forward to your comments, albeit posted with a little bit of thought. Thank you. Like and subscribe to our channel, Fabulous Pattaya Media Group, by using the link below. This morning, early Friday, the CCSA reported 17,345 new cases of COVID around the nation, with 117 new deaths attributed to the virus. The National News Bureau of Thailand reports today that the COVID Express, a name now adopted by most media and initiated by Fabulous 103, will continue to run in spite of the small number of passengers to date. Patients with moderate or mild symptoms will continue to be able to use the train to reach northern and eastern regions, where they're met by medics and taken to local medical facilities to continue their treatment and isolation. The COVID Express began running at the start of the week and is seen as an ideal way to reduce overload on metropolitan hospitals, and the service may well be extended to provinces in the south of the country too. Phuket Island is now officially to be locked down to outsiders other than sandbox tourists from Monday night, with the exception of transportation of essential goods, students and emergency medical services. The DDC is reported to be monitoring the whole of the so-called sandbox project over the next fortnight, at which point it'll decide whether or not to continue. Numbers aside, it's been seen, however, as successful in most ways and is fast becoming a template for other smaller southern islands. An increase in COVID numbers on Phuket has been attributed to travellers from within Thailand who've arrived in many cases in the hope of finding work. Following trials on jailbirds within the prison system, the Cabinet has approved the use of Fah Talai Jone, green charetta, for the treatment of asymptomatic cases of COVID-19. Trials of the herbal remedy are said to have helped prevent the virus-attacking cells and reduce the ability of the virus to multiply within human cells and become stronger. The Corrections Department handed the herbal remedy to 11,800 inmates with mild symptoms, with a 99.02% success. The UK is the latest nation to donate services to Thailand's ongoing battle against the pandemic. Plans are to donate 415,000 doses of AstraZeneca as part of the UK's global giveaway programme of a total of 9 million. A spokesman for the CCSA has stated that the rapid spread of the virus could lead to daily figures of over 30,000 people, unless the public comply with the new rules and regulations. If they do, and if the vaccination plan meets its objectives, Then numbers could, however, peak very soon, at maybe around 22,000, before dropping down to around 10 to 15. The limitation on inter-provincial travel from red zones, however, seems to have been minimally implemented, as we've seen in our own region, where road checks on provincial borders have been limited to asking drivers to scan a QR code and let them proceed, and in other cases the border checks being left unmanned. Online appointments for vaccinations at Bang Sur railway station in August for people aged 18 and over were fully booked within a short while of registration opening yesterday. Online booking was implemented to reduce the maximum queuing that had become a daily event at the vaccine station earlier. All mobile services carried messages that the quota had been filled, but there is the reminder that over 70s are still allowed as walk-ins, and there are still appointments available for those over 60, together with the sick or pregnant. And a meeting of the so-called Red Zone governors with the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister discussed the effect of COVID in their regions. Key issues were availability of beds, antigen kits and public training for the use of those kits. With all governors present reporting an increase in case counts, the Deputy Prime Minister told them that from August, the supply to Thailand would be close to 10 million vaccines, and nationwide the vaccination rate will improve considerably. The Royal Gazette last night has issued anti-fake news restrictions under the emergency decree to ban all false news that could cause public panic and affect national security. Clearly, this applies to licensed media companies such as ourselves, together with onliners and those with websites, and so-called keyboard warriors who spread it too. Authorities will be ordered to block IP addresses and arrest anyone spreading so-called fake news. And the warning is out that comments on social media, as well as posts themselves, will be vetted, with the promise of considerable fines or jail for violators, who could be seen as creating hysteria or fear-mongering. And the judge of what constitutes fake news will be the Thai government and its officers. Meanwhile, at home and in our own province, early this morning, the Governor's Office reported 914 new cases of the virus, seeing 286 in Chonburi, 258 in Sriracha and 67 in Banglamung, with the balance spread around the region. And with the Met Office promising highs of 31 dropping down to 28 and rain at some time. Local and national news today from Fabulous 103 FM and Fabulous Pattaya Media Group. And to get a notification every time we release another bulletin or programme,